Hi guys, Ramsey here. Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about a long lost, discontinued fragrance that I'm wearing on my skin for the first time. And let me tell you, sometimes, bad things happen, sometimes good things happen. That's why I always try to stay relatively stable. I never get too upset and I never get too excited. So as you guys know, I lost a haul recently. And in that haul was a fragrance that I really wanted a bigger bottle of. I've got this mini, and the fragrance is called Portos by Balenciaga. This is an eau de cologne, okay? And Portos came out in the 1980s. It's one of the best executed castoreum fragrances ever, in my opinion. And so I started to get comments over the last couple weeks from people who I know are into perfume and know perfume and, let's say people's noses that I would trust, right? And the fragrance that we're going to talk about today is called Etienne Aigner Silver. And Silver was released in 1984. So a couple years after Portos came out. This is the back of one of the bottles. And the reason that I started by saying sometimes good things happen, sometimes bad things happen, is I lost that haul, which I've talked about before. I don't want to berate the issue any further, but we lost Kinski, which was a very hard to find fragrance, although I think I may have found a replacement. And we lost a big bottle of Portos, which was supposed to be my full bottle to make up for the fact that I have this little mini that I've been using and loving. And so that was a loss, and I was upset about that. This is a gain, because what happened is I went on eBay and the seller had a bunch of these little minis listed. This is almost impossible to find nowadays, long discontinued. And I said, you know what, instead of just buying one, I'm gonna try to buy 5, okay? And they're listed as 5 ml minis, okay? 5 mLs. And so I made an offer, he counter offered. I said, you know what, I want it at the price that I offered you at. And so I said, what if I bought 10? What if we increase the quantity, right? And he said, sure, I'll sell you all 10 at that price. Great. Get them in. And this is a 12 ml decant. So last night I am going to decant it, and I've been giving this some wear today, so it's gone down a little bit. But I decanted this one bottle into this, and it almost filled it all the way up. These are not 5 ml minis. They're 10 ml minis. And then on top of it, he sent me an extra bottle. So I got 11 of these. So I got 110 ml of juice. And, the bottle actually reminds me of the Bally Masculine bottle, doesn't it? It's very similar in style to the way that it looks. And it actually came out in a very similar time frame. This came out in the mid-80s. I'm not exactly sure when. This came out in 1984. Both are long discontinued, but I like this almost this marble look. If it'll focus, I'll show you. You can kind of see it's got this marble touch to it. Beautiful presentation. I really like these bottles. You can see it on the Bally Masculine even better. This one's glass. I think these are plastic, but maybe the bigger bottles aren't. I don't know. Either way, I like the presentation. And so I got some extra juice that I didn't pay for. So even though it doesn't truly make up for the lost haul, good things happen, I guess, to people who wait, you could say, or that don't get too upset. I also found some amazing deals today. I like buying from people inside of the community. I like keeping, the money and the fragrances flowing inside of the community. And I found someone who is a subscriber to my channel, and I bought some fragrances off of him today, and he was very fair to me. And then on top of that, another one of my subscribers is going to send me some fragrances, and I'll talk about who it was and she said, hey, this bottle's just sitting here. You talked about getting the haul of the Etienne Aigner fragrances in, and so I have this bottle. I'm not using it. If you would like it, it's yours. And I said, sure, absolutely. So just a quick story to talk about the quality of people that I've come across in this fragrance game, the fragrance community, if you will, especially the ones that have subscribed to my channel. We crossed 900 subscribers, which most people would celebrate. And I'm happy to pass that subscriber mark, but I'm more happy. I'm just absolutely stunned by the, quality of people. You guys really just kind of lift me up like a bird flying, and a gust of wind just pushes that bird up even higher. And so I want to put out the best quality material I can. You guys know my channel is not monetized. All of my bottles I've paid for with my own money, although I do have a free bottle on the way, but it's from a person, not from a brand. And that kind of stuff. So this is a true hobby and a true love for me. And I saw a post. Someone sent me like an Instagram or Facebook. I don't have either, so I never see it unless someone sends it to me. But it was one of the bigger reviewers, bigger, from the American reviewing crew, let's say, the New York crew. And he said, hey, I'm doing this video and I'm doing it on a brand that's got some heat recently for sending out free bottles, but I want you to know all my bottles I paid for with my own money. So I thought that was interesting because that kind of comment never would have came out before. So I think the work that Rich Mitch is doing in kind of bringing this topic to the forefront is a big deal. People are talking about it on other people's videos, on other streams. People don't like the wool being pulled over their eyes. They don't like to be treated like a mark. A mark is an easy target. And that's how these bigger brands are treating the public, like they're a mark, like they can be tricked, like they can be fooled. And, eventually the truth always comes out. So my policy in all of this that I do, if I ever don't stay true to myself or what I feel honest, I'll just hang it up. I'll just stop doing videos. But my policy is I'm going to be as honest and as truthful as you like. I'm not going to, change to make the algorithm happy. I'm not going to change to make a brand happy. I'm not going to get a fragrance and not review it because I'm going to say bad things about it. I'm never going to do any of that. And if brands don't like it, too bad. I'm probably, me and Rich Mitch and Eugene and people like that are probably going to be some of these brands' worst nightmares. We are probably going to be the YouTube algorithm worst nightmare because my videos are not little shorts. I see all these people, they're releasing shorts. They'll get on there and go, 5 fragrances in 5 seconds, go, 1, 2. What kind of content is that? That gives you absolutely nothing. The only thing it could possibly give you is maybe you could learn about a fragrance if your eyes can see it fast enough in the time that they put it up. That's crap. That's content for people that have the attention span of a gnat. And so, honestly, I don't even want those people subscribed to my channel. So we're going to do kind of like a first impression on Aigner Silver. And let me tell you right away, before we even go into notes, which I did take some notes, but I started to just get so excited that I just kind of started scribbling and I had to stop. But basically, what you get at the opening is you get this very smooth, green, fresh smell. It smells like there's a mixture of juniper and this fennel-like smell. So you know how I say that sometimes Coriolan can give off that fennel-like smell? This has that feel to it in the opening. But what's special about this fragrance to me is that it manages to touch on notes and topics that I love. So for example, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I recently discovered Antaeus cologne, and honestly, I just want to wear it. even right now, as much as I'm loving this, I just want to wear Antaeus Cologne Sport. And that type of castoreum, that type of feel, the castoreum and Antaeus, we're probably talking about two of my favorite castoreum fragrances I've ever smelled, which is Portos and Antaeus. And then came along Antaeus Sport, which blew me away. I was not expecting that at all. I always said, why would I want a sport version of Antaeus? I want my Antaeus to be dirty. I want it to be Antaeus. Well, it is. The sport version is that, and maybe even then some. It does the Antaeus DNA. It's a true sport flanker. It removes the myrrh and stuff like that. I did a comparison video. You can watch it on my channel. I did a full comparison if you would like. But Portos is the other castoreum fragrance to me. It's the other, if we've got like a 1, 2, and a 3 for castoreum, this has to be up there. This has to get a medal. If Antaeus gets gold, maybe this gets silver, or maybe this gets silver and this gets bronze. Either way, they're top 3, okay? Bad pun intended. But I will tell you that the thing that silver does that's amazing is it keeps that dirty castoreum bit, and it's there. You can definitely feel that 80s masculine, right? That 80s masculine dirty castoreum that they just cannot recreate nowadays no matter how hard they try. That kind of feel. But imagine you've mixed it with this green fennel smell with this fresh juniper berry and spicy carnation. Beautiful, old school spicy carnation with spruce. And the spruce note is what really got me, because very rarely have I smelled a fragrance that has a true proper spruce note. I'll give you an example of one that I would love to get a full bottle of. This is probably my, if not my favorite, one of my favorite fragrances I don't have a full bottle of. It's called Oriental Velours by Les Indemodables. And Oriental Velours is a Oriental fragrance, obviously, that uses one of the most beautiful notes of myrrh and one of the most beautiful notes of spruce I've ever smelled. They combine to create something just mind-blowingly gorgeous. And in Aigner Silver, you get this combination of old school, dirty castoreum, but somehow, some way, they managed to blend it with this green, fresh, smooth, silky smooth, almost buttery smooth, you could say. Shockingly. And the mixture of the two is what's really doing it for me right now. Let me tell you the similarities, though, between these two. Okay, Portos and Aigner Silver. Now let's talk about the base. The base is where the similarities really happen. So in Aigner Silver, the base is castoreum, labdanum, leather, oak moss, musk, and frankincense. Okay, in Portos, the base is castoreum, labdanum, leather, oak moss, musk, frankincense, and myrrh. So there's a myrrh note in this. There's no myrrh note in Aigner Silver. There's an artemisia note in Portos. There's no artemisia note in Silver. There's a spruce note in Silver. There's no spruce in Portos. But they both have cedar. They both have patchouli. They both have jasmine. And I think Silver maybe has like a spiciness from like a cinnamon or nutmeg or something like that. There's some sort of spiciness that is not just from the carnation. You know, that beautiful, definitely cinnamon. Beautiful cinnamon accord. And I'll tell you what a blessing it is to receive these little 10 ml minis when I thought I was getting 5. And then to uncover this amazing fragrance from 84 that it wasn't even on my radar a couple weeks ago. I heard of the house, but most of the stuff I heard was like new stuff, the new releases. And I was like, that stuff doesn't really interest me. But let me tell you what, I can't wait to get my nose on explosive. I can't wait to try to find a bottle of some of the other stuff that's kind of hidden in the background from this house. And oh, by the way, I should tell you that there is a blurb that I read on the house of Aigner. Someone told me it was pronounced like A-I-K, Aigner in German. If anyone knows, my German speakers, let me know. So it says the fashion brand of Aigner was named after Etienne Aigner, who was born in 1904 in Slovenia, where he gained a lot of experience with the material through his work as a bookbinder. This is from Parfumo, by the way. I love their little blurbs. However, a move to Paris, a marriage, and a change of denomination steered his life in a different direction. During the occupation, he was active in the resistance, and immediately after the end of the war, he was able to attract attention with his first designs for handbags. Well-known fashion houses such as Lanvin, Rochas, Fat, and Dior adopted his creations, and so his name was already known when he moved to New York in 1950, and then founded the label Aigner, named after him. After further successful years in the USA, the company was sold to a German businessman in 1965 who further expanded the company. For example, travel bags, shoes, cosmetics portfolios, high-quality clothing were added. High-quality women clothing in 1978. In 1983, Aigner finally went public. This was followed by further restructuring and expansion at the same time a steady expansion of the product range. The Munich-based Etienne Aigner AG distributes the articles under Etienne Aigner in North America and under Aigner in the rest of the world. The exclusive clientele and the low price segment are equally served. The label's handmade leather goods, cosmetics, jewelry, and accessories are sold in upscale specialty stores, in the company stores, and online. So apparently, see that little horseshoe symbol right there at the top of the bottle? That is the symbol that was etched on. He used this special type of, I don't know if it was like a special type of leather or a special dye, but he was particularly known for this shade of red, like this red shade of leather, if I'm not mistaken. And it really became like his calling card. Aigner, purses and pocketbooks and coin purses and stuff like that were made. And very interesting story. Also interesting that I own none of these. They weren't even on my list as someone who loves 80s perfumes. It's a that's the thing about the old perfume world, is there is literally a wall. I mean, it's like running into a brick wall. When you really get going and you start looking at this takes me here, if you like Portos, you should check out Aigner Silver. If you like silver, if you like the spruce note in silver, you should check out Oriental Velour. When you start making these connections, and then you start making connections between brands, and you start making connections between perfumers, and, notes. If you're a Castoreum lover, Antaeus and these two, I would say must go to the top of the list to smell. I am truly bummed that I lost my 100 ml bottle of Portos that was on the way, but I'm equally just over the moon that I found silver, that I got a great deal on a couple fragrances coming from a new friend, and that I have some stuff on the way from a subscriber that didn't even want to charge me. So, it's a balancing act. So I try to stay very even-keeled, but sometimes something like this gets me excited. And it I should touch a little bit on another topic, because I did make some notes and I just completely went off the handle. I didn't even use them. Um, but there's another facet to silver in the base that I just want to talk about. And again, this is an early impression. This is not a review. This is an early impression. This is the first time I've ever worn this fragrance. But there's an oiliness to the leather in the base that reminds me of um, one of the most classical leather fragrances of all time. And it's from a house that has been around for hundreds of years, and really hundreds of years, not fake hundreds of years. This is from the house of Farina, and it's called Kolnish Yukten. And Kolnish Yukten is known, apparently this fragrance came out in the 1700s, or the house was founded in the 1700s. This is one of the original Russian leathers, okay? I don't know when this bottle is from. I will tell you that you can see on the cap, wrote Farina Mark. Wrote Farina Mark. And I can tell you that if you are a fan of fragrances like Cuir de Russie by Chanel, there are two other Russian leathers that I would highly recommend. This I got for a steal. I got for like $7 or something. The guy had no idea what he had. This is Del Oro's Russian Leather 2 Cologne. Now this was made, I don't know if you can see the bottom there, but this was actually made in California. Long Beach, California. And these are still floating around on eBay, but I've seen them more like the hundreds of dollar range now. So these two are true classic Russian leathers. They're smoky. They are filled with birch tar. I did a video on leathers. This is not a top 10 leather. And I talked a lot about Russian leathers in a couple different videos. But this fragrance has this Russian leather with birch, smoke, and this oily, piney olibanum with musk and costus. Those are the notes. And costus adds a little bit of funk to it. It's like that. I think it's banned now. But costus adds this, almost like this wet animal like vibe, you know. Castoreum and civet and hyrax and ambergris and all these animalic notes are a lot of times from an animal or something like that. Costus is a plant, but it's a very funky plant. And so if you're a fan of leathers, and especially if you're a fan of Cuir de Russie, you have to check these out. Just for the experience, for the understanding of what it is and where it goes. And if I just smelled this blind, right? And I didn't know any of the other notes, I would probably guess that this was a fragrance built around an accord of Russian leather in the base. But there is no birch note. And that's what throws me off a little bit. It smells like even there's a little bit of a birch note. Could be the frankincense. But I will tell you that the aura that it creates feels like there's a lot of stuff stapled on top. Like they stapled a castoreum note onto a Russian leather fragrance in silver rather than a birch note, right? Because birch and the leather are what really create that Russian leather accord. And I did do a whole video on Russian leathers. You can go find that if you go back through my old videos. But silver, you know, doesn't have that birch, so it's almost like it starts to remind you of a Russian leather, and then it takes a turn. Very interesting. Very 80s because the castoreum is definitely there, and it's a little bit funky, but it's not. It never gets to the level of Old Antaeus, right? Old Antaeus, the castoreum is really front and center, and I love it. Here, the castoreum is there. It gives it that little bit of twang, right? That little bit of funk, but it's very smooth. It's buttery smooth. It's well blended. It's you know, it's spring in Texas, and I could wear this to work. I mean, it's that smooth, but it's also unique enough for someone like me to enjoy it, to love it and enjoy it. So, first impressions are sometimes tricky because they fool you. Sometimes things change. Sometimes it's not what you thought it was. But I will tell you that so far I've had it on my skin for about 3 hours. 3.5 hours. And I'm loving silver. I am so glad that I discovered this. I'm so glad you guys left it in the comments for me to learn about. That's why I always say, please leave comments in the videos. I want to interact with you guys because I learn so much. There's so much to learn. I mean, there's literally an encyclopedia of knowledge out there in everyone's head. If we could combine it and teach others in the community, I think we're really adding a lot of value. You know, it's something that is very hard to be recreated. And then when you throw the human element on top of it, it's an amazing experience. So thank you to those of you who comment in all my videos. Thank you to those of you who subscribe and pushed us over the 900 mark. When I get to 1,000, I'm going to do that top 100 countdown, which is agonizing me. I wish I could just do it and be done with it. But I'm going to wait till I get to 1,000 because I want it to be a special video. Because 1,000 is a special number. It's something to be celebrated. Not for me, but for you guys. And so, you know, it's something I'm excited about. I want to get it off my chest because I'm literally looking at the top 100 daily going, what goes where? You know, what is this a truly a fair ranking, or should it be here? Should it be there? Should this be here? And it's driving me nuts. So get me to 1,000 so we can be done with it, and then it'll be out there and we won't have to mess with that again. But if you're a vintage hunter like me, I would implore you to put this on your list, and hopefully soon I will be able to smell more from this house, and I'll be able to give you feedback whether hunting down more bottles from this house are worthwhile. If you're a leather lover like I am, if you're a Russian leather lover like I am, these two, this one and this one, are definitely worth your time. Definitely worth it. I don't know about the Del Oro Russian Leather 1 because I've never smelled it, but Russian Leather 2, Cosmetco, Long Beach, California, shockingly great Russian leather. So this is the cologne. They also do aftershaves. If you look on eBay, you'll probably see different bottles from this one, but the symbol for Del Oro will be very similar. So anyways, that is my first impression of Aigner silver, and thank you to everybody who's part of this channel. I have the best 900 subscribers that a guy could ask for to begin a channel with. I mean, you guys are absolutely amazing. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have experience with this house. If there are others from this house I should prioritize, do let me know. And oh, I do have some more bad news though. I ordered a bottle of Chamad at the request of a subscriber that I really trust, and it shows delivered, but it's not here. So I put a challenge with eBay saying that, hey, it's not here. Where is it? So we'll see what happens. Maybe one of my neighbors got it and they'll drop it off soon. Hopefully they didn't open it and go, oh my God, an 80s bottle of Chamad. I'm just going to keep this and not say anything. So again, you got to take the good with the bad. So somehow this turned into a life advice video, but there you go. Ramsey's ramblings on life. So cheers, everybody. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time with another video. Bye-bye.